Drunk, I held my sworn enemy tightly in my arms. She took out her family heirloom ring and slipped it onto my index finger. Now you're mine. The whole venue held its breath. Miss Qi caught my fidgeting hand. Wrong finger, husband. The guest erupted. Because Qi Qingrou and I were known as sworn enemies. I hated Qi Qingrou. I hated her to my very bones. But no one knew I had been reborn. In my previous life, there was a fire. It ruined my face and voice. Everyone despised me and found me revolting. But she held me and kept saying, Chen, don't be afraid. I'm here. Only then did I realize the person I hated most was the one who loved me most in the world. At the moment of her death, she held me tightly. Her icy lips brushed my ear as she softly begged, Chen, could you love me? I do. I cried out, my heart breaking, I love you. But she could never hear me again. The day I was reborn, I was on the awards ceremony red carpet. The woman was breathtakingly beautiful, leaning elegantly against a car. At first glance, she was the only one left in the world. I crossed the red carpet and ran to her without a second thought. I gave her the words she never heard. I told her again, I love you. The entire venue was stunned, including viewers watching the live stream. Everyone recognized the woman in my arms. Qi Qingrou, the eldest daughter of the Shi family in Jingdu. She was so noble and unattainable that everyone knew the danger, yet willingly fell for her anyway. In an instant, the noisy venue fell utterly silent. Only camera flashes kept going off. Compared to the silent venue, the livestream comments were deafening. What is Shi Chen doing? How dare he kiss my president Shi? Has he gone mad chasing fame? First, he hit Shi Yabai before the livestream. Then he forcibly kissed Miss Qi. Has reading too many novels ruined his brain? Does he think this will make him famous? This eldest Miss Qi is famously uninterested in men. She does not even spare Shi Yabai a glance. Who does he think he is? Is he trying to get himself killed? I heard he and Miss Qi have hated each other since childhood. Heh, this is going to be good. I do not give a damn. He kissed my wife. Why does he not just die? Relax, Miss Qi will not let him off. Forget the viewers. Even my friend and manager, Songyi, was practically bug-eyed with shock. He knew my relationship with Qi Qingrou fairly well. We had grown up together. But we were anything but close. Our relationship was atrocious. Whenever Qi Qingrou showed up, I would need an air purifier just to disinfect the place. Because I liked Momo since childhood. But Momo hated Qi Qingrou, who was adored by everyone. So I came to hate Qi Qingrou by association. I had hated her since childhood. At that moment, Songyi thought exactly what the viewers did. Chen has gone crazy chasing fame. Nearby, Shi Yabai still clutched his face. His pupils narrowed, but a mocking smile surfaced in his eyes. HMPH. Shi Chen even dares provoke Qi Qingrou now. Isn't he afraid that crazy bitch will kill him? Qi Qingrou's bodyguards exchanged uneasy looks. When I rushed over, they had wanted to stop me, but their third miss stopped them with a look. Has the Shi family's eldest young master changed tactics? Is he planning to frame their third miss another way? Or is there poison hidden in young master Shi's mouth, and he plans to poison their third miss with a kiss? Yet no one was more shocked than Qi Qingrou herself. When Chen ran toward me, I thought he meant to humiliate me. I was curious to see what this disowned eldest young master would do next. Before Qi Qingrou could mock me, I lowered my eyes and pressed my thin lips precisely to hers. Qi Qingrou's mind buzzed in that instant. Stiffly, she thought, did Chen mean to bite my neck? How did he end up biting my lips? Should I say something? Remind Chen that he got the wrong place? Heh. Qingrou, I love you. My voice was so faint, it seemed one breeze could scatter it. Qi Qingrou's heart clenched. She pressed her fingers to my shoulder and pushed me away. Her action thrilled the livestream viewers. Look, he's about to get put in his place. Qi Qingrou looked up at me. My face held the tangled emotion of having lost her, then found her again. Qi Qingrou's heart tightened painfully, just as everyone waited for her to land a hard slap across my face. Qi Qingrou instead caressed my cheek. What is wrong, Chen? What happened? What is going on? This eldest miss who never lets men near her. Shouldn't she slap him right now and send this man who took advantage of her flying Everyone exchanged baffled looks. Camera flashes went off nonstop. Livestream comments flew by. Viewer numbers surged, until the stream crashed. It disconnected. Damn it. Platform. Fix it already. If I cannot see Miss Qi slap him, I will not sleep tonight. At that moment, in my eyes, the whole world faded away. My world held only her. My voice was terribly hoarse. I missed you. My arms still circled her, tightening around her waist, as though I feared she would vanish. Qingrou. I missed you so much. I truly did. Qi Qingrou thought. A Chen called me Qingrou. Could he have mistaken me for someone else? Qi Qingrou fell silent for a moment, then suddenly looked around. The others sneaking glances at the drama quickly looked away. Some stared at the sky, and others studied the ground. Qi Qingrou knew this was not the place to talk. Frowning, she gripped my arm, wanting me to release her waist, but her movement panicked me, and I held her tighter. Do not go. Please do not leave me. I will behave from now on. I promise. Qi Qingrou's delicate face was full of helplessness. I am not leaving you. Come on, get in the car. I did not believe her. I stubbornly clung to her. I am afraid if I let go, you will disappear. This feels too much like a dream. A beautiful dream I cannot bear to release. Then what will make you let go of me? Kiss me. Qingrou, please kiss me. Let me know you are really here. Please. I had just kissed her, but before it felt real, she pushed me away. I truly wanted to kiss her again, to feel the warmth of her lips. When she whispered in my ear, begging me to love her, she was so cold. Qi Qingrou's red lips parted slightly. That mouth of a Chen's has always done nothing but anger me. But today, after who knows what set him off, he suddenly knows just how to sweet-talk me. Is he trying to lure me into making history before the whole internet, so he can mercilessly mock me later, with proof that I was seduced by a pretty face? Qi Qingrou's red lips curved faintly. Too bad. Since childhood, Qi Qingrou have never feared a honey trap. With that thought, Qi Qingrou gave a soft laugh. Her slender fingers touched my cheek. Then she lifted her head and embraced me. The instant Qi Qingrou raised her head, the livestream platform returned to normal. At the end of the red carpet on camera, the exquisite beauty and the handsome man created a scene as lovely as one from a fairy tale. A prince and princess embracing, before eager viewers could even see clearly. They flooded the comments. Holy crap, she really kissed him. She did. Oh my god. She hit him hard with her lips. The trending searches exploded across the board. Some believed I had found dirt on the Qi family's eldest miss and blackmailed her. Some thought I had seduced her. Others believed I had used black magic to cloud Qi Qingrou's mind. In short, no one believed. Qi Qingrou truly wanted to kiss me. To the viewers, Qi Qingrou and I were parallel lines never meant to meet. One was in the heavens, the other on earth. Someone even swore. Just wait. Once the eldest miss comes to her senses, a Chen is going to die horribly. If he does not die, I will stand on my head, spin 360 degrees, and eat shit. While the internet went wild, in the spacious backseat of the Silver Phantom, I sat beside Qi Qingrou, watching her eagerly. Qi Qingrou lounged in her seat, her slender fingers holding her phone. After impatiently hanging up, who knew how many calls from people fishing for gossip, she simply switched it off. Only then did she turn to me. Her tone was casual yet cool. Talk? Did you lose your memory? Or are your memories scrambled and you have mistaken me for someone else? Huh. I did not mistake you for anyone. I hurriedly shook my head, instinctively reaching to hold her. Qi Qingrou's lashes trembled. Do not hug me. Sit properly. I barely managed to coax him into letting me go. And now he wants to hug me again. There is no audience watching now. A trace of displeasure crossed Qi Qingrou's pretty face. Why does he want to hug me every time he opens his mouth? Was he like this with Momo too? My outstretched hand froze. My fingers, already touching her clothes, pulled back. I looked at her pleadingly. To Qi Qingrou, I looked so pitiful, as if she had abandoned me. Something is off. There is something wrong with this damn rival. Qi Qingrou pressed her lips together, suppressing the doubt in her eyes as she asked, You did not mistake me. Then do you know who I am? I answered firmly. You are Qi Qingrou. Then I added softly. You are my Qingrou. Qi Qingrou's heartbeat instantly fell into chaos. She suddenly pressed the back of her hand lightly to my forehead. Thoughtfully, she said, "A fever must have fried your brain." Her little hand was cool, and it inexplicably reminded me of the coldness of her embrace at the very end. I clenched my fist and said softly, "I do not have a fever." Qi Qingrou withdrew her hand, crossed her arms, and looked at me haughtily. HMPH. Go on. What scheme have you come up with to torment me this time? Qi Qingrou suddenly remembered something. If I remember correctly, the Shi family is holding a banquet tomorrow. I heard that crazy woman, Momo, has bought a ring. She will most likely propose to Shi by herself. The He and Shi families also intend to continue their marriage alliance. A month ago, I was driven out of the Shi family. Shi had been kidnapped and nearly murdered by his captors, and all the evidence pointed to me. The Shi parents were utterly disappointed in me. They publicly announced they had cut all ties with me. My engagement to Momo was annulled as well. The smile vanished from Qi Qingrou's face. Her gaze toward me became even more distant. Shi Chen, you are not using me to provoke Momo, are you? Before I got out, I saw Chen hit Shi Yibai. I was a little worried at that moment. Chen has always had a bad temper, but he has never acted so recklessly in public. At the time, I thought Chen had lost control because of Momo. I hurried out of the car to back him up. Who knew I would only give him an opportunity to make trouble for me? Thinking of those two fleeting kisses, Qi Qingrou's eyes turned nearly ice-cold. Shi Chen, for Momo. You are willing to go quite far. Should I, in my anger, just throw this idiot out of the car? I asked her in confusion. Who is Momo? I do not know her. Qi Qingrou fell silent for 2 seconds. She reached out and tapped Wen Jing's shoulder as she drove. Go to 10th Hospital. The psychiatric hospital. Wen Jing was silent for a moment. Yes, 3rd miss. Without another moment's hesitation, she turned the wheel and headed straight for 10th Hospital. I frowned deeply. Oh no, Qi Qingrou might really think I have lost my mind. I had already shaken off the days of being reborn. I knew, without a doubt, that I was back, but if pretending to have amnesia could make her trust me, I could live with that. I did not care about any of those people anyway. I only cared about my Qingrou. In this world, she was the only one I needed to remember, the only one I needed to love. Qi Qingrou spoke lightly beside my ear. I will give you one last chance. Tell me honestly what you are really after. Otherwise, once you enter 10th Hospital, do not expect to ever come back out. The car interior was dim. I turned to look at her cool, delicate features. Before I was burned in my previous life, I had thought her gaze was cold, like the icy water of an ancient, frozen pool. Only later did I learn that boiling lava lay beneath that frozen pool. Her love burned so fiercely, it could almost make ice water boil. My tone was calm, as I said softly, I am not trying to do anything. I just want to love you. What? The composure Qi Qingrou had forced into her gaze instantly shattered. And how do you want to love me? Her red lips pressed together as she sneered. Shi Chen, do you think I am an idiot? Do you want me to remind you? When we ran into each other in the club lobby this morning, what exactly did you say? I was completely baffled. Why were we suddenly dredging up old memories? That felt like ages ago. Let me think. After thinking hard for a while, I finally remembered. I really had run into her in the club lobby that morning. She was getting out of the elevator as I was getting in. We brushed past each other. I said to Songyi beside me, we need some air freshener. This elevator reeks. After saying that, I even made sure to provoke her. HMPH. What bad luck. My eyes flickered as I remembered. Qi Qingrou gave a soft laugh. Look at that guilty face. Looks like you remember after all. The next second, my eyes became so clear, as if I truly remembered nothing. No, I really do not remember. What did I say to you then? Did I tell you that you were gorgeous, that I really liked you, and loved you very much? Qi Qingrou suddenly felt like twisting my ear. She reached over and gave my ear a hard twist. Shi Chen, stop playing dumb with me. I am not falling for that act. That woman, Momo, used to fall for it. I rubbed my ear, then asked teasingly, then what kind of act works on Qingrou? Qi Qingrou let out an annoyed little huff. No act works on me. Before she had even finished speaking, I leaned slightly closer to her lips. Qi Qingrou suddenly snapped back to her senses. She pushed me away. Her face flushed red, and spoke through gritted teeth. I held her gaze tenderly. A teasing glint flashed in my beautiful eyes. If that still is not enough, I gently slipped an arm around her waist. With hopeful eyes, I softly asked, "How about I let you kiss me back? Would you like that?" When Jing, behind the wheel, pricked up her ears. "Oh my goodness. Of course she should. Third miss, just kiss him already. Your love life is finally blooming." Qi Qingrou's gaze uncontrollably fell on my lips. She gently pressed her red lips together. "Let me kiss him back." The word yes was already on the tip of her tongue, but she ultimately gritted out 3 words. "In your dreams." The starlight in my eyes shattered at once. I lowered my head, clearly unhappy. Qi Qingrou suppressed her racing heart. I cannot let Ah Chen fool me. Does he think he can seduce me like this? She quietly leaned back, putting more distance between us. Her voice held jealousy she did not even notice. "Who taught you this?" "He Momo, Shi Chen." I frowned and said, "I told you. I do not know he Momo. Why do you keep bringing her up? Who is she? Besides, you taught me all of this." "He Momo does not even like me." I was rapidly exhausting Qi Qingrou's patience. She said unhappily, "How long are you going to keep up this act?" My spirits sank. Everything I said is true. I only love you. Why will you not believe me? Why was Qi Qingrou so hard to win over at this point? I thought that if I confessed to her, she would accept me. Had she not fallen in love with me yet? Qi Qingrou's playful eyes studied me for several seconds. "You do not know he Momo?" I nodded. "MMHMM. Qi Qingrou curled her lips and said resentfully, "You only want to love me." I nodded firmly again. Qi Qingrou seemed to think of something and gave a sly chuckle. "HMPH. Fine. It is not like I cannot believe you, but you have to prove it to me." "How do I prove it?" I blinked my beautiful eyes, then gave a playful grin. "Does Qingrou think getting close is not enough? Do you want to spend more time alone with me?" When Jing nearly lost her grip on the steering wheel, the Shi family's young master is something else. My third miss is so innocent. Can she handle him? Sure enough, Qi Qingrou's pretty face was redder than my earlobes. Luckily, she managed to remain outwardly calm. She called my name through gritted teeth. "Shi Chen." I looked at her innocently. Qi Qingrou fought the urge to throw me out. She lightly poked my forehead with a fingertip. "Those messy thoughts in your head. Put every last one of them away." Only then did I reluctantly speak. Qi Qingrou took a deep breath to calm herself. Then she ordered Wen Jing back to Shiqing. Yes, Shiqing Hotel belonged to the Qi family. It was also hosting today's awards ceremony. After the ceremony, the hotel would hold a celebration banquet. The reason Qi Qingrou agreed to attend the awards gala today was that the Qi family was hosting it. Of course, the most important reason was that she knew I would be there. I only went to Shiqing because I was afraid Ah Chen would be bullied. No good deed goes unpunished. That bastard does not deserve my kindness. Qi Qingrou glared at me, grinding her teeth. When Jing respectfully turned the car around, I asked in confusion, "What are we going back for?" Qi Qingrou leaned back in her seat, returning to her languid pose from when she first got in. Yet her tone carried a trace of mockery. "Obviously, I am giving you a chance to prove yourself, to show how sincere this love you claim to feel really is." I frowned slightly. I still remembered my previous life. It was at the celebration banquet at Shiqing Hotel. Someone set me up. When I woke, I was beside Qi Qingrou. A scandalous mess lay all around us. I was completely devastated then. My first reaction was to drive Qi Qingrou away. She calmly said she would marry me. I coldly told her to leave. If I remembered correctly, that drugged glass of wine had been handed to me by Himomo herself. In the dim light, I looked at Qi Qingrou. Her eyes were closed as she pretended to rest. Her delicate little face was especially captivating. Himomo had influenced me before. I always thought Qi Qingrou was pretentious and hard to approach. Only later did I understand. It was not that I did not want to get close to her. I was simply afraid to. By the time we returned to Shiqing, the awards ceremony was still underway. Those who could not be bothered to watch it had gathered in the banquet hall for the celebration. There were plenty of wealthy young heirs there for the spectacle, but the atmosphere was strangely tense. Everyone kept glancing toward Himomo. After all, the lapdog who had chased after her since childhood had run off with her sworn rival. And that rival Qi Qingrou, outshone her in every way. So none of those spoiled heirs dared fool around. They were afraid of angering Momo. Momo was indeed furious. She reclined in an armchair, restlessly scrolling through her phone. The video of me kissing Qi Qingrou was trending online. She watched it over and over. The more she watched, the more she wanted to kill me. She tossed her phone aside and coldly told the person beside her, "Get those trending topics taken down." The woman beside her was her best friend, Shi Chen. She was also looking at the trending post. When she heard that, Shi Chen looked surprised. "Why take them down? Do not tell me you cannot bear to see people criticizing Shi Chen." Momo shot her a glare. "What good does it do me to see him insulted?" Shi Chen clicked her tongue. "It does not benefit you. But it benefits Shi Yibai. The worse Shi Chen's reputation becomes, the better Shi Yibai's will be. Since you like Shi Yibai, why do you care about Shi Chen?" That only made Momo more displeased. "What is wrong with you?" "What?" Shi Chen froze. "When did I ever say I like Shi Yibai?" Shi Chen was utterly baffled. "Momo, what do you mean? Are you saying you like Shi Chen?" Momo said nothing, but her silence was answer enough. Shi Chen quickly lowered her voice and asked, "Momo, you have been so close to Shi Yibai these past few years. I have never seen you treat Shi Chen kindly. Ask any of the girls around you. Who does not think you like Shi Yibai? Everyone already thinks Shi Yibai is your boyfriend. And now you say you like Shi Chen." Unable to hold back, she snapped, "Why are you acting crazy?" Momo glanced at her. "What do you know?" She frowned. "It is because Shi Chen has such a terrible temper. I only did all this to make Shi Chen understand. Just because he is the Shi family's eldest son, does not mean he can throw tantrums in front of me." Momo took a delicate sip of red wine. "He needs to know his place and learn to please me. Besides, the Shi family has thrown him out. In the end, he can only come to me. When that time comes, will he still dare lose his temper with me? So I am only teaching him a lesson." Shi Chen was dumbfounded. "So for all these years, you were warm toward Shi Yibai and cold toward Shi Chen, just to teach him, to make him more obedient? What kind of monstrous heartbreaker are you?" She was so shocked she almost rolled her eyes. "But aren't you forcing Shi Yibai to marry you tomorrow?" Momo replied unhurriedly, "My husband will only ever be Yi Chen." Shi Chen was truly speechless. After a long moment, she reminded Momo, "But it does not look like he has come back to you." He went to Qi Qingrou instead. Momo toyed with the glass beside her. "Do not let your scheme backfire, only to train another woman's husband for her. That only means I have not trained him well enough yet. He is not obedient enough. He must have heard that I am proposing to Shi Yibai tomorrow. That is why he hit Shi Yibai, then went looking for Qi Qingrou. He thinks that will make me change my mind." She gave a mocking laugh. "Does Yi Chen not realize that Qi Qingrou knows he has been hopelessly devoted to me? Would she even give him a second glance? He is only humiliating himself." Momo took a sip of wine and said carelessly, "Do not worry. It will not be long before he comes back and begs me humbly." Only seconds after she finished speaking, the heavy doors of the banquet hall slowly opened. Everyone in the hall looked over, their expressions briefly freezing. A woman with an overwhelming presence walked in at an unhurried pace. Then everyone saw me walking beside her. Momo abruptly sat up straight, staring at me intently. Qi Qingrou smiled at Momo, then laced her fingers with mine. The two of us sat on an empty sofa. Whether Qi Qingrou meant to or not, we ended up directly across from Momo and her group. More than 30 feet separated us. The banquet hall fell silent for a moment. Momo spoke in a spoiled, coquettish tone. "Chen, come over here." Qi Qingrou gave a radiant smile. Leaning lazily against the sofa back, she gently asked, "Do you want to go over?" As she spoke, she played with my hand. I shook my head and said in confusion, "I do not know her. I am not going." Everyone heard that, including Momo. Momo puffed out her cheeks. "Yi Chen, I am giving you one more chance. Come over here now." A mischievous gleam filled Qi Qingrou's eyes. Pouting, she leaned close to my ear. "Yi Chen, weren't you going to prove that you love me?" Her warm breath made my heart pound wildly. She gave a soft huff. "So, do you dare kiss me in front of Momo?" The moment she said it, My eyes lit up. Qi Qingrou suddenly had a bad feeling. Sure enough, the next second, I kissed her without hesitation. Sharp gasps rang out around us. The banquet hall became even quieter. How dare he? How many times has he done that today? Even if he truly wants to provoke Momo, is he not afraid of going too far and completely enraging her? A woman's mocking laugh sounded nearby. Qi Qingrou suddenly came back to herself. What is Miss He planning to do? Qi Qingrou glanced over from the corner of her eye. Momo had already risen to her feet. She seemed ready to come our way. But another woman stopped her. The woman stopping Momo was Qi Qingrou's friend, Wanwan. When Qi Qingrou entered, she and her friends had wanted to join her. But when they saw me following behind, they decided to wait and see. I saw all the trending posts. I only regret that I did not witness the drama myself. Who knew I would get to see it live here? Heh. Even while Wanwan was shocked, she kept an eye on Momo. Sure enough, without a second thought, Wanwan stepped directly in front of Momo. As if my Qingrou's happy moment. How could I let that crazy woman, Momo, ruin it? Absolutely not. A mocking curve touched Momo's lips. Move. Wanwan gave a cold snort. You think I will move just because you say so? Do I not have any pride? Momo said angrily. I will say it one more time. Move. Wanwan shrugged, wearing a wicked grin. I will not. What are you going to do about it? Momo's brows drew together. She raised a hand and pointed at Wanwan's face. You. Wanwan took a step back. Do not point fingers and order me around. I hate being pointed at. The atmosphere instantly grew tense. No one else even dared to breathe. Only then did I understand. This was what Qingrou meant by proving it. She did not believe I loved her. She still thought I was using her. She thought I would not dare kiss her in front of Momo. Ha, she never saw that coming. I was more than happy to. Watching the scene, Qi Qingrou spoke softly. Enough. That is enough. Instantly, the room fell silent. More than a dozen people looked at Qi Qingrou. Anger laced Qi Qingrou's clear voice. Do not make a mess in my place. The others were instantly doused with cold water. After all, this was the Qi family's territory. Causing trouble here would have endless consequences. Someone looked at Momo, silently asking what to do next. Momo kept her eyes locked on me. Shi Chen had an idea and called to me. Shi Chen, can you not see someone is bullying Momo? Come over and help her. Everyone turned to look at me again, including Qi Qingrou. Enough already. Was he really going to put on a show in front of so many people? I lowered my head, pretending not to hear Shi Chen. Qi Qingrou pressed her lips together. Was I too harsh just now? Momo had reached the end of her patience. Ever since Chen entered the banquet hall, he has not given me a single glance. He was not like this before. Whenever I was around, his eyes would always follow me. Suddenly, panic rose in her heart. It felt as though something was slipping beyond her control. Momo spoke through gritted teeth. Shi Chen, if you have caused enough trouble, come here. I will let today's matter slide. Hearing her tone, as though she were granting me a favor, I looked up at her. It was the first time I had looked at her that night. After 2 seconds, I stood and walked toward Momo. The displeasure in Momo's eyes faded, replaced by smug satisfaction. I knew it. Shi Chen really was only trying to anger and provoke me. The others exchanged looks. No one said a word. They merely instinctively made way as I approached. Wanwan hesitated for a moment. I can stop Momo. But I have no reason to stop Shi Chen. She rolled her eyes at Momo, shaking her head helplessly. Then she stepped aside. This man's taste is terrible. How is Qingrou any worse than that little brat from the He family? Qi Qingrou puffed out her cheeks slightly, pressing her lips tight. She looked away and refused to watch. Her toe tapped lightly against the floor, as she fought the urge to pull me back. The moment I say one slightly harsh thing to you, you give me that face. But someone else is harsh with you, and you still go running to them. HMPH, you big idiot. I should be used to this after all these years. It is only because Chen's act was so convincing today that it left me a little dazed. I actually felt a little happy, thinking Chen was finally willing to see me. Forget it. I will consider this the last time I help him. Qi Qingrou stood up sadly. She did not look at me again. then turned and headed outside. She had barely taken 2 steps when an uproar erupted behind her, along with Momo's furious, disbelieving roar. Qi Qingrou turned back. Momo was pointing at me, asking in disbelief, "Say that again." "I do not like you either. I do not think much of you." I turned to Qi Qingrou with a bright smile and asked, "Is she Momo?" I told her, "She is not good enough for me. Tell her not to start trouble for no reason. Is that okay, Qingrou?" Qi Qingrou's heart gave a violent jolt. Could Chen really have lost his memory? When she did not answer, my eyes darted around, and I came up with an idea. Pretending to be in pain, I reached a hand toward her. "I think my leg has cramped up. Qingrou, come help me." The banquet hall was deathly quiet. Qi Qingrou silently watched me for several seconds. Then, under everyone's gaze, she walked toward me. She stopped before me. Without saying a word, she placed my arm over her shoulder and supported me. I looked at her with eyes bright as stars, smiling brilliantly. Momo gritted her teeth and looked up. She glared fiercely at us both. "Qi Qingrou, where are you taking Chen? He is mine. You." A terrible feeling rose within me. If I let Qi Qingrou take Chen away, I will truly lose him. Qi Qingrou merely tilted her head at her. The chill in her eyes spread, but a pleased smile curved her lips. "From now on, he is mine." Chen chose to come to me himself. So, whether he has lost his memory or is using me, there is no room for him to regret it. Qi Qingrou smiled like a blooming flower. Qi Qingrou supported me as I willingly went with her, then led me away. Qi Qingrou still took me to the hospital. She did not mean anything else by it. She simply wanted to see whether Chen really had something wrong with his head. Once we got in the car, I could not help leaning toward her. Qi Qingrou was as cold as ever, saying only, "Sit properly." The corner of my mouth twitched. "Qingrou, do you not like it when I hold you? You are so cold now, Qingrou. You bad woman." Qi Qingrou leaned back against her seat and asked lightly, "Were you this clingy with Momo before too? Like you did not have any bones? Always leaning all over people?" I frowned deeply and muttered, "Why do you keep bringing her up?" Qi Qingrou turned to look out the window. She could not be bothered to say another word. "Do you think I want to bring up Momo? How many years have you loved Momo? Did you really forget?" At the hospital, Qi Qingrou arranged a full examination for me, even including a psychiatric evaluation. I was speechless. If the tests could put Qingrou at ease, then I would take them. The other examinations were fine. But when it came time for the psychiatric assessment, I had to answer a lot of questions. No matter what the doctor asked, I said I did not know. Only when he asked about Qi Qingrou did my eyes light up. After the assessment, the doctor looked conflicted. In the end, he wrote 3 words on the report and handed it to Qi Qingrou, who was waiting outside. With an odd smile, he placed the report in Qi Qingrou's hand. "Do not worry. He is mentally sound. There is no serious problem. Just this minor issue, that is all." I followed behind the doctor, so the doctor knows Qi Qingrou too. The doctor looked at me and smiled. Then he turned to Qi Qingrou and said, "I have work to do. Make yourselves at home." I quickly thanked him. "Thank you." After watching him return to his office, I walked over to Qi Qingrou. I looked at her innocently and asked, "What did the doctor say?" Qi Qingrou glanced at the report, then handed it to me with a complicated expression. "See for yourself." I took it. My eyes went straight to the diagnosis at the bottom. No physical or psychiatric organic illness found. Emotions affected by romantic issues. Mental faculties normal. I was a little confused. "What does that mean?" Qi Qingrou sighed. "It means you are lovesick." I nodded, looking absolutely delighted. That doctor is quite perceptive. Qi Qingrou read the entire report, her feelings conflicted. There truly was nothing physically wrong with him. If he is only pretending to get close to me, what could Chen's real motive be? If it is not because of Momo, what else could make Chen cast everything aside and willingly get close to someone he used to hate so much? But if he is not pretending, can someone truly change so suddenly in a single day? Qi Qingrou could not help rubbing my head twice. There was no bump. She tested the waters and asked, "When you got into the elevator this morning, did the doors close on your head?" I stared at her, utterly speechless. "You could make your sarcasm a little more obvious." A little helplessly, I asked her, "Why can you not believe that I really like you?" Qi Qingrou withdrew her hand and met my gaze. "What do you think? Would you believe it if you were me?" She had a point. I once did not believe Qi Qingrou truly liked me either. Not until that fire. I spoke with a serious expression. "The truth is, I have always liked you. I did not suddenly fall for you today." "Always." Qi Qingrou's lashes trembled lightly. She looked puzzled. "What do you mean, always?" I answered earnestly. "I just did not dare get close to you before. You were so wonderful. And you were always distant with me. I always felt I was not good enough for you." My voice carried a trace of disappointment. Qi Qingrou furrowed her brows. She was both angry and amused. "Shi Chen, do not turn this around on me. You were the one who was always cold to me." I began to argue back. I could not have the one I loved. So, love turned into resentment. Qi Qingrou clenched her teeth even tighter. "Sweet talk will not work. Do not try to change the subject." The corner of my mouth twitched. "Come on, can you not let me have this one? I am trying to confess seriously here." Qi Qingrou fell silent for a moment. She forced down her irritation, then turned and walked away. I stood still, watching her retreating figure. Seeing no sign that she would stop, I called out to her, "Qingrou." Qi Qingrou stopped and turned to look at me. I blinked, my tone softening. "Qingrou, my leg hurts." Qi Qingrou immediately knew I was trying to act shameless again. She gave a soft snort. "Then do not move. Walk if you want. If not, stay." With that, she turned and left. I stayed right where I was, without another word. Qi Qingrou was nearly at the elevator. She closed her eyes briefly, then turned around without hesitation. She walked back to me and gritted out by my ear, "Shi Chen, I must have owed you in a past life." I grinned. I draped an arm over her shoulder, leaned close and lightly kissed her cheek. Then I softly said, "No, I am the one who owes you, my Qingrou." Some of Qi Qingrou's irritation faded. She huffed coldly. "You owe me. Then should you not be carrying me? Have you ever seen a debtor throwing his weight around before his creditor?" I answered with complete seriousness. "Normally, it is never easy for creditors to collect a debt. The bigger the debt, the harder it is to recover. So creditors need to coax their debtors and keep them company, if they ever hope to collect it little by little." Qi Qingrou snorted. "You certainly have plenty of twisted logic." I leaned close to her ear again and whispered, "My debt to you is enormous. So, you have to stay with me for a lifetime. That way, I will have a lifetime to repay my Qingrou slowly." "All right, a lifetime." We stepped into the elevator. She looked up and fixed me with an intense stare. "Shi Chen, do you know what a lifetime means?" "Of course I do." I gazed deeply into her eyes, answering one word at a time. "A lifetime means never leaving or forsaking each other, and growing old together." Qi Qingrou and I now lived in the same apartment building. She lived upstairs, and I lived below. After the Shi family threw me out, I had nowhere to go. Songyi rented me an apartment. Only later did I learn that the building actually belonged to Qi Qingrou. She had secretly arranged for Songyi to rent it cheaply. Qi Qingrou took me home. "Can I really not stay at your place?" Qi Qingrou merely gave me a look. "Show some restraint." I gave a quiet, reluctant okay. Then I headed home, looking back every few steps. Qi Qingrou stood by the elevator, watching me with a look of disdain. I finally went inside, reluctant to part with her. Once she was sure I had shut the door, the disgust on Qi Qingrou's face instantly became delight. Her lips curved up, then she forced them back down. What a thrilling night. Her emotions had risen and fallen without end. Even now, Chen's words in the hospital elevator, never leaving or forsaking each other, growing old together, were still echoing in her ears. But it still did not feel real. Could I be dreaming? I did not know that my actions and words had suddenly unleashed the love she had suppressed for years. God knows how hard I had restrained myself to resist taking Chen home with me. Qi Qingrou took one last look at my tightly shut door, then went upstairs. She entered the bathroom to wash up. Suddenly, a sharp pain shot through the back of Qi Qingrou's hand. She cried out in surprise. The rinsing cup fell from her hand. She raised her hand to look. There was not a mark on her skin, yet the pain remained. Qi Qingrou turned off the faucet, then left the bathroom. She sat on the couch, studying the back of her hand. The pain was slowly fading. Qi Qingrou leaned back and closed her eyes. Then the doorbell rang. She opened her eyes and immediately saw that smug face on the video doorbell. Qi Qingrou sighed helplessly. Can a Chen not let me relax for even a moment? Then she gave a self-mocking smile. Forget it. Had I not been hoping he would come to? Qi Qingrou went over and opened the door. She said helplessly, Shi Chen, do you know what time it is? Seeing that I was still in my earlier clothes, she thought, what has he been doing all this time? I stood at the door, holding out my hand pitifully. Qingrou. Maokyu scratched my hand. The scratch on my hand was especially obvious. Qi Qingrou stared intently at my wound. Her heart seemed to stop for an instant. Was that not exactly where she had felt pain before? Could it really be such a coincidence? She came back to herself and asked me, have you treated it? I shook my head. I do not know how. Qi Qingrou frowned. You keep a cat yourself, yet do not know how to treat a scratch. That is right. Maokyu is my cat. I have had him for years. When I left the Shi family, he was all I took with me. I answered as though it were obvious. But I have never been scratched by a cat. Is it not normal that I would not know? Qi Qingrou could not be bothered arguing with me. She grabbed my wrist and pulled me inside. A flicker of amusement crossed my eyes. Qi Qingrou suddenly turned around. I blinked, instantly looking pitiful again. HMPH. His acting really is good. Qi Qingrou sighed inwardly. She pulled me into the kitchen, turned on the faucet, and held my hand under the water. Clean water washed over my wound. I flinched slightly. The wound stung from the irritation. Qi Qingrou held my hand, then suddenly froze. An uneasy feeling rose within her for no reason, because at that very moment, she felt a faint sting on the back of her own hand. She stared closely at my wound. The scratch was not deep. It had only broken the skin slightly, with the faintest trace of blood. Taking a slow breath, she suppressed the strange thought. Qi Qingrou said, I will have someone come give you a rabies shot shortly. I nodded. We were standing very close together. With just a slight tilt of my head, I could see her little face crease with worry. I looked down at her furrowed brows, my heart stirring. Qi Qingrou grew uncomfortable under my gaze. She instinctively pulled her clothes closer. I glanced at her. Stingy. Qi Qingrou was silent for a moment, then asked curiously, why did your cat scratch you? You have had him for years. Why would he suddenly scratch you? And he is a male cat I personally took to be neutered. I muttered. I do not know. I think there might be something evil in my apartment. Qi Qingrou was speechless. A Chen was becoming more and more outrageous. He would make up absolutely anything. I continued. I looked at her earnestly. Maybe he saw something. And that is why he went crazy. Qingrou, I really do not dare go back now. He is so vicious now. The moment he sees me, he goes wild. I really did feel a little guilty. It felt like Maokyu had noticed something was off about me. Qi Qingrou silently listened as I made it all up. So, I looked at her hopefully. So, can I stay here for the night? Qi Qingrou leaned closer to look at me. Shi Chen, how am I only now discovering you are this shameless? I solemnly swore. Everything I said is true. If you do not believe me, you can come downstairs and see for yourself. Qi Qingrou looked at me for several seconds. Then she recalled that strange pain. She nodded. All right. With that, she headed into the living room. That should be rinsed enough. Dry your hand first. I will disinfect it. She took out the first aid kit, held my hand, and dabbed a cotton swab in iodine. She applied it to the wound. The instant it touched my skin, a sharp sting flared in my hand. Qi Qingrou tightened her grip on the swab. The sensation of feeling my pain became increasingly clear. She raised her eyes to me. Does it hurt? I nodded and said, just a little. Of course, Qi Qingrou knew it was only a little. She took a deep breath and tossed away the swab. Come on, let us go check your place. When we reached the floor below, the door opened, and I immediately hid behind Qi Qingrou. Qi Qingrou turned back to me helplessly. This is your home. Why are you hiding? My gaze was complicated. He really is vicious. When I came home earlier, Furball was curled up asleep on the couch. A fluffy little ball. I sat beside him, lost in thought for a while. My fingers gently stroked his fluffy head. I had not seen him in a very, very long time. In the fire from my past life, Furball had not escaped. Then he suddenly woke up. First, he rubbed his head against my palm. Just as he was about to jump onto me, his round eyes suddenly widened. Almost instantly, his fur bristled and he went berserk. I did not have time to pull back my hand, and he scratched me, leaving a wound. I scrambled to my feet and backed away. Furball arched his back, glaring at me viciously. He looked ready to pounce on me. On instinct, I ran upstairs to Qi Qingrou's apartment. Now that the door was open, the lights inside were still on. Seeing that I did not seem to be lying, Qi Qingrou walked into the living room ahead of me. The moment she stepped into the entryway, she saw the long-haired cat in the living room. He was spinning in circles across the floor. Qi Qingrou turned around, staring at me in disbelief. "This is the vicious cat you met." Just as I was about to speak, Furball heard my voice and looked over. The cat who had just been happily playing instantly bristled again. He arched his back, bared his teeth, ready to pounce on me. I instinctively grabbed Qi Qingrou's small hand. By reflex, I stepped in front of her. I said helplessly, "See, this is exactly what I meant." Furball looked ready to charge again. Qi Qingrou pulled me aside. She called out coldly, "Furball, stop." I held tightly to Qi Qingrou's hand. "It is a cat. Can it even understand you? We should get out of here. Tomorrow, I will have someone take it to the vet." Just then, Furball looked at Qi Qingrou. He froze for a moment. Then the ferocity in his eyes vanished. His bristling fur smoothed down at once. It was as if he had found a long-lost family member. He rubbed against Qi Qingrou's leg, meowing softly, acting spoiled and clingy. Qi Qingrou thought he looked a little like me. She chuckled. Her voice softened. "I think he is more obedient than you." I complained, utterly speechless. "Furball, you little traitor. I raised you, cleaning up after you every step of the way. How could you do this to me?" Qi Qingrou smiled. "All right, let go of me first." But I kept holding her small hand. Qi Qingrou turned to look at me. I leaned close to her. I gently kissed her cheek, then withdrew my hand. A flicker of dissatisfaction crossed Qi Qingrou's heart. That idiot Chen stole another kiss. Qi Qingrou bent down and picked up the cat rubbing against her leg. She sat on the couch and placed him in her lap. Her fingers stroked Furball's head as she carefully checked him for anything wrong. Furball was very docile in her arms. He lay quietly, letting her pet and examine him, watching the now docile Furball from nearby. I tried to approach, but when I was only 3 steps away, Furball suddenly raised his head and bared his teeth at me. I froze. Qi Qingrou frowned and lightly tapped Furball on the head. "Who are you being nasty to?" Furball meowed again, then flopped down as if deflated, but his eyes remained fixed on me, still far from friendly. Qi Qingrou looked up at me standing nearby. I looked utterly dejected. Qi Qingrou's fingers curled slightly. I checked him. "There is nothing wrong with him," I said dejectedly. "Then why is he so hostile toward me? It is like he does not recognize his owner anymore." Qi Qingrou lowered her gaze. Maybe the cat was not the problem. Maybe the problem was the man before her. Qi Qingrou was not superstitious, but she had heard that cats were extremely sensitive animals. What had Chen done to make Furball so uneasy? Or rather, was the man before her truly the Chen she knew? The thought made her heart race. Qi Qingrou tossed the cat from her lap onto the floor, giving his rear a light pat, telling him to play somewhere else. Furball would not leave. He jumped back onto the couch and curled up beside her. Qi Qingrou did not stop him. She looked up at me. "Shi Chen." She held out her hand to me. "Come here." I took 2 steps forward and took her hand. She pulled me down to sit beside her. Qi Qingrou leaned closer to me. My eyes widened slightly, confused. "Qingrou." This was the first time today she had approached me on her own. Her fingertip gently tapped my chin, prompting me to look at her. There was a touch of shyness in Qi Qingrou's voice. "Do not move. Let me look at you." Our faces were incredibly close enough to see ourselves reflected in each other's eyes. I asked, confused, "What are you looking at?" Qi Qingrou gently caressed my face. She saw her reflection in my clear eyes. At that moment, she was certain. The man beside her was a Chen. She looked at me, her cheeks slightly flushed. "A Chen. There is no one else here now." I did not understand what she meant. "And?" Qi Qingrou slowly leaned toward me, her voice slightly husky as she asked, "Do you still want to kiss me?" Her breath was sweet and fresh. Her lips were very close as she spoke, almost brushing mine. My breath caught. I could clearly see the concern and sincerity in her eyes. I knew that look well. In my past life, she had looked at me the same way. After that day, the footage was made public, just as everyone was speculating about my relationship with Qi Qingrou. Someone revealed that Qi Qingrou and the Su family's second son in Jing City were preparing to get engaged. The two families had agreed on it before the new year. Su Mu even made a social media post. He pointedly wrote that those who do evil bring ruin upon themselves. Everyone knew he was talking about me. Public opinion turned viciously against me, even though the trending topic was quickly removed. And Su Mu deleted his post and apologized. Qi Qingrou personally posted a clarification. She said she was the one pursuing me. She had no relationship with Su Mu. But by then, almost no one believed her. I was surrounded by public condemnation, under immense pressure. Even the Shi family parents were cold toward me. And Momo was even worse. Her eyes held only distance and rejection. I was in agony during that time, with nowhere to put all that pain. I poured it all out on Qi Qingrou. Back then, she looked at me just like this, but I mistook that concern for malice. Only much later did I understand that the devotion and tenderness in her eyes came from feelings she had suppressed for years. She had loved me for a very, very long time. Seeing me suddenly space out, Qi Qingrou gently pressed her lips together and asked, "Do you not want to kiss me anymore?" I came back to myself. My arms instinctively wrapped around her. "That is not it." "Then will you kiss me?" There was unconscious shyness in her voice. "I will let a Chen kiss me." Her words made my ears burn. But, in that instant, I suddenly remembered my past life. I knew I had to clear this up first. I gently pushed her away. When she looked at me, slightly embarrassed and annoyed, I asked her directly, "Are you getting engaged to Su Mu?" Qi Qingrou froze. "Who is Su Mu?" I was utterly helpless. She had actually explained it to me before. She had nothing to do with Su Mu. Their families had arranged for them to meet once. She had clearly refused him then. But Qi Qingrou and I had trended online today. Everyone was now guessing about our relationship, although nobody had set me up this time. Following the course of my past life, tomorrow news of Qi Qingrou and Su Mu's engagement would shoot to the top of the trends. Su Mu would post again, too. So this time, I had to deal with it beforehand. I could not wait for public outrage to build before trying to fix it. People these days rarely believe clarifications that come afterward. I shot her a look and reminded her. Su Mu, the Su family's second son. He returned from abroad before the new year. Did you not go on a blind date with him? And you say you do not know him. As it happened, when Qi Qingrou met Su Mu on that blind date, I ran into them by chance. At the time, she and Su Mu walked out of a private restaurant room side by side. I glared at Qi Qingrou from afar. I even muttered to myself, why do I run into her everywhere I go? And she is with some handsome guy. It really bothered me. Only now did I realize I had been jealous. So, she had been on a blind date then. Yet now she was pretending she did not know who he was. I immediately tried to pull away from her. Qi Qingrou said gently, "Be good, Chen." Then, as if suddenly realizing something, she said, "Oh, you mean second Su?" Second Su. That made me even more jealous. You call him pretty affectionately. You call him second Su, but you call me by my full name. Qi Qingrou said helplessly. Everyone calls him that. I did not even know his name. What else was I supposed to call him? Su Mu went abroad as a child. He has only been back a few months. He is not close to the young heirs in Jing City's elite circles. I have only met Su Mu once. I truly did not remember his name. I only knew everyone called him Second Su. As she spoke, Qi Qingrou rubbed her cheek against me in my arms. Her voice was laced with laughter. Besides, if calling him Second Su is intimate, do you want me to call you First Shi from now on? She left me speechless. First Shi did sound awful. Forget it. I would not dwell on that. I asked her doubtfully. Then what about that blind date you had with him? Qi Qingrou pouted. Does meeting once count as a blind date? I sighed. My grandmother did ask me to meet him once. But before I went to the restaurant, I did not know I was meeting him. Once I got there, I rejected him outright. That was much the same as what she told me in my past life. I frowned slightly. What about your family? Of course they respect my wishes. The Qi family does not need a marriage alliance. Naturally, my parents put my wishes first. Besides, my grandmother arranged this meeting. My grandmother and Su Mu's grandmother were childhood friends. They grew distant later on, but Su Mu's grandmother brought up the matter herself. My grandmother asked me to meet him as a favor to her. It was not an attempt at a marriage alliance at all. I fell into thought. Then they truly had no connection. I breathed a sigh of relief. But I had to prevent Sumu from making that post. How could I do that? Qi Qingrou looked at me, slightly confused. Why does Chen seem to be getting stranger and stranger? Although she was sure he was a Chen, something still felt off. She tilted her head and glanced at Furball, still curled up beside her. Its eyes had been unfriendly whenever it looked at me. Qi Qingrou looked at me with her lips pouting. That happened so long ago. You even glared at me then. Did you think I did not notice? Why are you suddenly bringing it up now? Her little face was full of displeasure. Are you trying to reject me? Is that why you came up with such a lousy excuse to brush me off? Chen, you cannot keep pretending, can you? I looked at her. My voice softened. I am not pretending. Then prove it to me. Qi Qingrou moved closer. Come closer, Chen. Chen does not want to kiss me. Then I will kiss him instead. I do not want to hold back anymore. He was the one who came closer first anyway. I was just about to say something when Qi Qingrou slowly leaned toward me. The tip of her nose nearly brushed my cheek. My heart stirred. Her tenderness now was unlike the forcefulness of my past life. In my past life, we had scarcely shared such gentle closeness. The cat curled up beside Qi Qingrou suddenly grew restless again. It rubbed and clawed at Qi Qingrou's legs. Qi Qingrou turned to look at the troublesome cat beside her. I looked at it too. But the moment our eyes met, it instantly turned vicious. Qi Qingrou softly scolded it, her face full of displeasure. Furball. The cat gave a meow. It sounded pitiful. I felt uneasy. I said to her, Qingrou, I do not want to stay here anymore. Qi Qingrou noticed something was wrong. She took my hand and led me away. Seeing us leave, the cat lightly jumped down to follow. But one look from Qi Qingrou stopped it. It meowed and lay back down. It looked at me pitifully. It really was my cat. That look was remarkably like mine. Qi Qingrou ignored it. As the door closed, I looked back at the cat in the living room. Furball rejected me so fiercely, and even stopped Qi Qingrou from getting close to me. Was it because Furball could sense that I was no longer the same person I used to be? Qi Qingrou led me back to her room. I was still murmuring in her ear. See, I told you it was vicious. Qi Qingrou looked at me and said, So, what should we do? Stop keeping it. As she spoke, she headed for the kitchen. I frowned at that. I had raised Furball for whole years. It was a birthday gift from someone. Back then, I did not know who sent it. The card left at my door read, Happy birthday. I asked everyone I knew, but no one knew who had sent it. My friends even mocked the gift giver then. They could not believe someone had given me such an ordinary-looking cat. They had all forgotten that I had loved cats since childhood. The cat I had as a child was sent away after Shi Bai joined the Shi family because he was allergic to cat fur. I now knew Furball had been a gift from Qi Qingrou. I could not bear to give it up. But given the situation, maybe I truly should not keep it anymore. I watched Qi Qingrou pour water, and an idea struck me. My eyes lit up. How about this? I will live here with you from now on. Songy can stay downstairs and take care of Furball for me. Once Furball stops rejecting me, I will move back. Qi Qingrou turned around, holding a glass of water. She looked at me with a sly smile. Why not just send the cat to Songy's place? I spouted nonsense with a perfectly straight face. Furball is attached to its home. In a new place, it will not eat or sleep well. It will get sick. Qi Qingrou's lips curved faintly. She handed me the glass. So you are not attached to a place? I took the glass and had a sip. I am not attached to places. I am attached to people. I grinned brightly. As long as you are there, I will eat well and sleep well. I will be good as gold. Qi Qingrou's voice was soft and sweet. At that moment, our eyes met. Qi Qingrou's fair hand cupped my ear, then gave it a tug. It is like you have become a different person. She sounded as though she were joking, but my gaze flickered. Even the hand holding the glass trembled instinctively. I forced myself to stay calm. What? You have quite an imagination. For some reason, panic rose in my chest. I do not care. I am staying here with you. If you throw me out, I will sleep outside your door. With that, I turned to head back to the living room. I was afraid she would see through me. If she found out, I was different from before. Would she, like Furball, start pulling away from me too? But as I turned, she wrapped her arms around my waist. Before I could react, her forehead touched mine. No one knew. This was a moment she had never dared dream of before. Chen used to keep me at a distance. His eyes held only Momo. Whenever I saw Chen happily following Momo, looking so happy, I always wanted to ask what he saw in Momo. I was no worse than she was. No, I had asked him. When Momo pushed him away yet again, I asked him teasingly, "What do you even like about Momo? Why not like me instead? I am no worse than Momo." But he said, "I do not feel that way about you." All these years, Qi Qingrou often thought, if Chen gave me even 1/10,000th of the tenderness he showed Momo, I would be so happy. But now, it was as if a beautiful dream had suddenly come true. Chen was right before me, saying he loved me, saying he wanted to spend his life with me, saying he wanted to be close to me. But seconds later, a sound suddenly came from the door. Someone opened it and came in. Before we saw the person, we heard her voice. "Qingrou, what is wrong so late at night? Why did you call someone over to give you a rabies shot?" The voice abruptly stopped, followed by a, "Oh my." The instant I heard that voice, I pulled Qi Qingrou into my arms and hurried her into the kitchen. Wanwan stood in the entryway, watching the two people from moments ago vanish. She had seen it clearly. What had Qingrou been doing just now? Oh, that was different from their affectionate little moment in the banquet hall. Who would have thought? She had just gotten a front row seat to Qi Qingrou's love life. Qi Qingrou came out then, and rolled her eyes at Wanwan. Wanwan smiled suggestively. "Ha, I did not see a thing. Please continue. Pretend I was never here." With that, she happily turned to leave. She even thoughtfully shut the door behind her. Wanwan leaned against the door and let out a breath. This is thrilling. The elevator chimed. Liang Shangshang stepped out, carrying a medical kit. She spotted Wanwan at once, and asked in confusion, "What are you standing out here for?" Then she looked at the door behind her. "Does Qingrou really have a dog at home?" Wanwan considered it, then nodded. She said meaningfully, "There is more than a dog. There is a cat too. They are fighting right now. Do not rush. We will go in once they are done." Liang Shangshang's eyes widened. Inside, I came out of the kitchen. "Do you still want to continue?" I muttered, at a loss for words. "How can you still continue after that?" Qi Qingrou's eyes curved with a smile. "Now you are embarrassed? Earlier, in front of all those people, you did not seem shy at all. How is that the same? That was out in the open. Now we are alone at home and someone caught us. Aren't you ashamed?" Qi Qingrou truly could not understand my way of thinking. She only found it amusing. She took my hand and gave it a little shake. "Are we not being openly affectionate now? Or are we sneaking around?" I whispered with complete conviction. "I think we really are sneaking around." Qi Qingrou was so exasperated by my logic that she laughed. "So, Chen, you do not want to make us public." As she spoke, the light in her eyes dimmed. Chen truly had no intention of revealing our relationship. Was he still only pretending to deceive me? But I shook my head. "Not me. You." Whenever I wanted to be openly affectionate with her, she always acted reserved and pushed me away. Yet in private, she was incredibly forward. "Does that not mean you do not want us to go public?" I turned to look at her. "Look, when we are outside, you will not even let me get close. Count them yourself. How many times did you reject me in public today?" Qi Qingrou never expected me to turn the tables on her like this. "This morning, you looked impatient the moment you saw me. Then tonight, completely unlike you, you came to me on your own. How was I supposed to take the initiative?" Qi Qingrou truly laughed in exasperation. She immediately looped her arm through mine, then lifted her little face and looked straight at me. "So you mean, I should call them in now, and continue what we were doing in front of them?" "Fine." Before I could speak, Qi Qingrou nodded. Then she let go of me. I froze for a moment. When I turned around, she had already reached the living room. She did not actually believe I would continue in front of Wanwan. But I did not stop her from opening the door. After all, leaving them outside was rather rude. I picked up the water from earlier and drained it. Qi Qingrou had already opened the door. "Come in." Liang Shangshang was clearly still confused. She had not figured out what Wanwan's mysterious talk about cats and dogs meant. She glanced at the odd-looking Wanwan, then poked her head in curiously, medical kit in hand. She looked at Qi Qingrou. "Wanwan said your cat and dog are fighting. When did you get them?" Then she saw me in the living room and belatedly understood what Song Wanwan had meant. Still outside, Song Wanwan finally chuckled, then followed her in. This time, her smile at me was especially radiant. "Hello, brother-in-law." The three of us looked at Song Wanwan at once. Liang Shangshang stared at her in disbelief, questioning her with her eyes. "You are calling him brother-in-law already?" Song Wanwan met her gaze. "What do you know? Qingrou is clearly serious about him." Song Wanwan won that silent exchange. Liang Shangshang obediently followed suit. "Hello, brother-in-law." To be honest, hearing them call me that so suddenly made me a little awkward, but I politely replied, "Hello, both of you." Qi Qingrou looked at me tenderly. She was clearly pleased with what they called me. "Make yourselves comfortable for now." As she spoke, she walked toward me. Song Wanwan did not think much of it. She pulled Liang Shangshang over to sit on the sofa. Liang Shangshang asked curiously, "Qingrou, do you need a rabies vaccine?" Song Wanwan suddenly tugged her hand and gave an oddly pointed cough. "What?" Song Wanwan turned and saw the two of us pressed together. She instantly covered her mouth. "You opened the door so we could watch you to flirt, is that it? We are quite the pair of third wheels, huh?" The two women stiffly turned to look at each other. They were clearly stunned by Qi Qingrou's bold move. "Do you still think I just do not want to go public?" I shook my head hard. "No, you are truly incredibly open about it." A flicker of shyness crossed Qi Qingrou's face. "If this is not enough, then we can go into the living room and do it in front of them." I abruptly covered her mouth. Terrifying. This woman was just as wild and unpredictable as in my previous life. "Enough, really, enough." Qi Qingrou held my gaze for 2 seconds. I felt something brush against my palm. I instinctively pulled my hand back. I was completely defeated. "I think I should get the vaccine first." Qi Qingrou pulled me toward the bathroom. "Take a shower first. You cannot shower after getting the vaccine." I paused. "But I don't have anything." Qi Qingrou seemed to know what I was about to say. "There are new toiletries in the bathroom. As for a change of clothes, I will go downstairs and get them for you." She went into the bathroom and got everything ready for me. "You shower first. Once I bring them up, I will hang them on the door." I nodded, then reminded her, "Then bring me a few extra outfits." Qi Qingrou gave a gentle smile. "Okay." With that, she turned and left, leaving me some privacy. When she returned to the living room, the two women sitting side by side on the sofa were both watching her with strange expressions. Qi Qingrou paused, then looked back as if nothing were wrong. "What are you looking at?" Liang Shangshang shook her head with a smile. Song Wanwan raised her brows and clicked her tongue. "Qingrou, I never knew you had this side to you." Rarely, Qi Qingrou blushed in front of her friends. "It is nothing. You will be the same once you get a boyfriend." Song Wanwan pouted. "I am not like you, okay?" Qi Qingrou headed out, her tone teasing. "You are not like that with the young master from the Zhang family either, are you?" "Perfect. Then I do not need to tell you where he is." Song Wanwan immediately sprang up from the sofa. She trotted over to Qi Qingrou and pleaded sweetly. "Qingrou, you have news about Zhang Fan?" Qi Qingrou said with a smile. "Wanwan, are you not different from me? Why do you want news about him?" "I am the same. I am just like you." "Qingrou, my dear Qingrou, please tell me where he is." Qi Qingrou had reached the door. She stopped and gave her a meaningful look. "Gang Sheng, go find him." Song Wanwan's playful expression vanished. She said earnestly, "Thank you, Qingrou." Then she left, without wasting a second. Liang Shangshang sat silently for a moment. Then she asked doubtfully, "Is he really in Gangsheng?" The moment he arrived in Gangsheng this afternoon, I got word he was there. However, Qi Qingrou watched Song Wanwan enter the elevator. "I heard he went to Gangsheng with his girlfriend." Liang Shangsheng frowned. Then Wanwan. Qi Qingrou's voice remained calm. "If she can win him back, then that is to her credit. If she cannot, she will have to face reality. After all, she drove him away herself back then. She cannot blame anyone else." After that, she said no more about it. She said to Liang Shangsheng, "Sit here for a while. I will go downstairs and pack some things for Shi Chen." Liang Shangsheng sighed softly and nodded. "Okay, go ahead." The moment Qi Qingrou opened the door downstairs, the cat in the house rushed over. It meowed repeatedly, rubbing against her legs affectionately. Qi Qingrou bent down and rubbed its head. She asked softly, "Why were you so mean to Chen?" The cat could not answer her. It only rubbed its head against her palm. Qi Qingrou sighed softly and patted its head. Sweet talking me will not help. Tomorrow, I will have someone come trim your claws. Then she headed straight for the bedroom. The cat followed behind her. The upstairs and downstairs had the same layout. She easily found the master bedroom. She opened the door and switched on the lights, then went straight into the walk-in closet. Qi Qingrou looked at the closet, where only a few scattered clothes hung. Her delicate brows drew together. She had never seen a Chen wear the same outfit twice before. Yet in the few times she had seen him this month, he seemed to be wearing the same few outfits. Qi Qingrou picked out a set of pajamas for me. When she opened a drawer and saw my underwear, her face flushed with embarrassment. She grabbed a few at random and tossed them into the bag. By chance, Qi Qingrou spotted a small black velvet box. I had seen that box before. A few days ago, Song Yi and I were at a styling studio. I asked Song Yi beside me, "Is this too simple? Too cheap? Will she like it?" Song Yi rolled his eyes. "Seriously, even if you gave her something expensive, she might not like it. Besides, look at your situation now. It is good enough that you still want to buy her a gift." I sighed. Well, that is true. Then I saw Qi Qingrou and immediately looked away. Qi Qingrou had not heard what I muttered, but she could roughly guess that it was probably nothing nice. Qi Qingrou knew who the item in that box was meant for. An indescribable emotion compelled her to pick up the box. Her fingers trembled as she opened it. Inside lay an exquisite hair clip. A folded note lay beneath it. Qi Qingrou pressed her lips together. Carefully, she pulled out the note. "Happy birthday, Momo." Qi Qingrou's heart sank, just as she had expected, though she had known all along. The pain was still unbearable. If she remembered correctly, Momo's birthday had been 3 days ago. Why had a Chen not given her the gift? Qi Qingrou closed her eyes. "Shi Chen, why did you suddenly choose me? Did Momo hurt you? So you are using me as a replacement?" Suppressing the tremor in her fingertips, Qi Qingrou put the box back. She gathered the things and turned to leave. When she returned to the bedroom, the water was still running in the bathroom. Qi Qingrou hung the bag on the door and knocked. The water soon stopped. My clear voice came from inside. "Qingrou, is that you?" Qi Qingrou replied, unable to hide the disappointment in her voice. "I hung your clothes on the door. Get them yourself later." "Okay," I replied. "I will be done in a moment." Qi Qingrou said softly. "No rush." She wanted to say more, but only lowered her eyes and walked away. Not long after, I came out of the bathroom and sat beside Qi Qingrou. Liang Shengsheng gave me a rabies shot. Qi Qingrou watched from beside me, frowning. When the needle pierced my arm, the slight sting made her frown faintly. Qi Qingrou's gaze flickered. Liang Shengsheng had wanted to leave for a while. As a single woman, she keenly sensed that the atmosphere was off. After explaining the precautions and scheduling the next appointment, she hurriedly said goodbye. I looked up at Qi Qingrou. Our eyes met. "Qingrou, what is wrong?" I asked in confusion. Something was off with Qingrou. She had been fine before I went to shower. Qi Qingrou did not answer. "A Chen." I looked at her. "What is it?" She wrapped her arms around my neck and leaned close to whisper in my ear. "Will you marry me?" I could hardly believe it. "Marriage?" She stayed close to my ear. "Let us get engaged right now." By right now, you mean? I was a little confused. "We decide our future together tonight and get our marriage certificate first thing tomorrow," Qi Qingrou whispered in my ear. "A Chen, will you marry me?" I suddenly felt dazed. Marriage. Qingrou had brought it up many times in my past life. At first, I was cold toward her. Later, once I became that way, I wanted it even less. Eventually, Qingrou stopped bringing it up. She simply stayed by my side in silence. But in a drawer in her study, I once found a pair of custom-made diamond wedding rings. I secretly tried one on, and it fit perfectly. My silence made Qi Qingrou's breath catch. The room was so quiet, we could hear our hearts beating. Disappointment tamed her voice. "A Chen, you do not want to." "Of course, that is not it. I would love nothing more." Qi Qingrou finally dared to meet my eyes. "Qingrou, I am so happy." I hugged her and spun her around. "Qingrou, I love you so much. I truly want to marry you." Qi Qingrou's heart clenched. If she had not known since childhood how much a Chen disliked her, if she had not just seen that hair clip he had not given away 2 days ago, she might really have believed him. What a liar. Who said Chen was a bad actor? He was clearly very convincing, but even knowing it was a lie. At that moment, Qi Qingrou was willing to savor it. She pouted. Chen, remember what you said. If I find out you lied to me. I could not help asking. Then what? Then I will cling to you, never leaving your side. I will stick to you every day. Her. My heart gave a violent thud. She was becoming more and more like the Qi Qingrou I knew, just as Qi Qingrou thought her words would scare me. I broke into a bright smile. All right. Then I asked curiously, but you said we would get engaged tonight. It is nearly midnight. How can we prepare everything? As long as Chen is willing. There is always time. Qi Qingrou made a few calls. About an hour later, bags filled with clothes and accessories were piled all over the living room. Pouting apologetically, she said, It is only because it is so late. I will have more delivered tomorrow. These were custom made to your preferences. Pick one to try on for tomorrow's photos. Still confused, I gave a soft "oh." Qi Qingrou changed into a white dress in the bedroom. From those bags, I chose an outfit from the same collection as hers. They looked just like matching couples' outfits. The doorbell rang. Qi Qingrou leaned close and gave me a gentle kiss. I looked at her with an amused smile. Go answer the door. Once we are married, we will have all the time in the world. Qi Qingrou nodded in agreement and turned to open the door. The visitors were wedding planners and staff from a haute couture boutique. The moment they entered and saw us together, their curiosity burned brightly. Before arriving, they had been complaining about whoever had dragged them out in the middle of the night to plan a wedding at this hour. The three of them could not help wondering. They were rushing into marriage so urgently. Could the online rumors be right? Did Yi Chen have something that could keep Miss Qi tied to him? The next day, when we registered and took photos at the marriage registry, the staff clearly recognized us. Their eyes brimmed with curiosity. We sat shoulder to shoulder. Qi Qingrou glanced at me and suddenly said, Wait. I looked at her in confusion. What is it? The staff held their breath too. Here it comes. Miss Qi is having second thoughts. Watching this unfold in person is so exciting. Qi Qingrou gently straightened my tie. It was a little crooked. Let me fix it. I smiled softly at the gentle, lovely woman before me. Is it good now? With a smile, Qi Qingrou kissed my cheek. All done. I turned and met the staff's startled, excited gazes. I gave them an awkward smile. They smiled back at me. They are too adorable. I am swooning. Those online rumors really cannot be trusted. Qi Qingrou's delicate face flushed slightly. She sat back down and naturally linked her arm through mine. She told the photographer, All right, take the photo. The photographer's eyes shone as they looked at us through the camera. I saw these trending today and thought their photos had been heavily edited. But seeing them in person is breathtaking. My girlish heart cannot take it. Before long, 2 red marriage certificates were placed in our hands. In that moment, Qi Qingrou felt dazed. Chen is my husband now. Her fingers trembled faintly as she stroked the certificate. She turned to glance at me and found me staring blankly at my own marriage certificate. Qi Qingrou pressed her lips together. She could not help wondering, was Chen happier now? Or more annoyed? As we left the marriage registry, Qi Qingrou handed out the prepared thank you gifts to the staff. You are too kind. We were only doing our job. Congratulations on your marriage, Miss Qi and Mr. Yi. May you share a long and loving life together. Qi Qingrou's expression grew even gentler. Thank you. When we got home, Qi Qingrou saw that I was still lowering my head, staring at the marriage certificate in my hands. What are you looking at? Chen is not upset again, is he? But I looked up at her happily. Qingrou. Qi Qingrou stared at me, momentarily stunned. I eagerly asked her, Can I post on Weibo? Qi Qingrou looked confused. Weibo. I waved the marriage certificate before her. I want to post this on Weibo and announce our marriage. Is that okay? The instant Qi Qingrou suggested marriage, I had thought of it. Was this not the perfect solution? If I posted our marriage certificate and announced it first, would that not settle things with Sumyu? Qi Qingrou truly had not expected that I would be willing to announce it publicly. Of course. She sat down beside me. Then I suddenly frowned again. But I do not have my phone. Songyi has my phone. He has always managed my Weibo account too. Qi Qingrou's eyes curved with a smile. Then I will post it. She took several photos of our marriage certificates and logged into the Weibo account she had never used. Before long, the trending topics exploded. No matter the time, through every meal and every season, we will stay together until our hair turns white. Attached were photos of 2 marriage certificates. Everyone had been discussing it heatedly, and Qi Qingrou gave them the most direct answer. I looked at her Weibo post, my gaze flickering. Then something occurred to me, and I said, "Your parents do not know we are married yet, do they?" Qi Qingrou let out a soft laugh. "Husband." My face flushed, and my heart raced. Qi Qingrou laughed. "Instead of thinking about that, you should think about something else." I asked in confusion. "Like what?" Qi Qingrou leaned closer. "You should decide whether we will curl up in the living room and talk tonight, or return to our separate rooms to rest." I asked, puzzled. "What is the difference between those 2 options?" Qi Qingrou blinked at me. "You can decide." I thought it over, and naturally took her small hand. "Then, Qingrou, come back to the room and rest with me." Qi Qingrou looked at our clasped hands. "But Chen, do not regret this." I looked at her, confused. Why would I regret it? That night, Qi Qingrou pulled up the blanket and wrapped herself in it without hesitation. I stared at her blankly. "What are you doing?" Qi Qingrou replied calmly. "Sleeping." "How can I sleep without covering myself properly?" I was even more bewildered. "Were you not going to rest with me?" Qi Qingrou reached out from beneath the blanket and patted the space beside her. "I am. Come sleep?" I still did not understand the situation. "Is that all?" Qi Qingrou looked into my eyes. "What else? Did you have something else in mind?" "We are already married." Her voice was sweet and coy. "I know." Mischief glinted in her eyes. She leaned over and lightly kissed my cheek. "Chen is my husband now. Whether Chen truly loves me or not, he belongs completely to me now." I asked uncertainly. "So, are you sure? You want us to simply sleep quietly together on our wedding night?" Qi Qingrou gazed at me, blinking. "Because I think Chen still needs time to truly accept this and prepare. I do not want a moment of impulsiveness from you. We are married already, so I am not in a hurry. I can wait patiently for Chen to truly fall in love with me." How was I supposed to know what she was truly thinking? I gave her a wicked grin. "I do not need time to prepare. Then I need time to adjust. Chen, give me a little time, okay?" "All right, let us sleep." Once the lights were off, the room fell completely dark. Only our soft breathing remained, rising and falling in turn. I thought I would be awake all night, but surrounded by Qi Qingrou's scent, I soon drifted into a deep sleep. Qi Qingrou, on the other hand, listened to my breathing and could not sleep at all. She feared waking up and opening her eyes, only to find that this had all been a beautiful dream. Then, just then, she heard me mumble in my sleep. "Momo, no." Qi Qingrou froze instantly. Her burning emotions turned ice cold in an instant. I jolted awake from the dream. My whole body was drenched in cold sweat. My first instinct was to reach for my face with trembling hands. No scars. No rough, uneven skin. My breathing gradually steadied. For a moment, I truly thought my rebirth had been a dream. Whew. It was not a dream. I kept my eyes closed for a long while, trying to recover, before opening them and looking beside me. Qi Qingrou was gone. I sat up and looked at the clock beside the bed. It was only 6:30. Why was she up so early? I was not going back to sleep either. I threw back the covers and got out of bed. Opening the bedroom door, I saw her on the balcony outside the living room. Qi Qingrou had her back to me. I walked over and hugged her from behind. "Why are you up so early?" The woman in my arms stiffened slightly. A few seconds later, she turned around. "Why did you not sleep a little longer?" She wrapped both arms tightly around my waist. Seeing how pale she looked, I asked in confusion, "Did you not sleep well last night?" Qi Qingrou did not answer. She looked up and met my eyes. "What about you, Chen? Did you sleep well?" At that, I felt a little troubled. I shook my head. "Not very well." Qi Qingrou pressed her lips together. "Why?" I rubbed my temple. "I had a nightmare." Qi Qingrou looked at me and softly asked, "What nightmare?" I frowned deeply, not knowing how to explain it. "I dreamed I came home that day in my past life. Momo was already waiting for me there. The moment I walked in, she started arguing with me. I said she was the one who handed me that drink, but she insisted that was impossible. Momo threw something beside her at me." "Momo, no." Thinking of that, my arms tightened around Qi Qingrou without thinking. Qi Qingrou patted my back to comfort me. "It is nothing. It was only a nightmare." But Qi Qingrou was not so easily fooled. She could feel how tense I was. Thinking again about what I had said in my sleep, my tone had seemed full of intense fear. But at the time, jealousy and possessiveness had clouded her thoughts. She had not thought much of it. Qi Qingrou called to me, her voice trembling. Chen. Qi Qingrou asked hoarsely. Did he Momo do something terrible to you? I did not understand. What? Qi Qingrou raised a hand and gently stroked my face. Did he Momo do anything to you? Her words made me think of my previous life again. Suddenly, I could not bear to look at her. No, that happened in my previous life. Besides, she got what she deserved in that life. As for now, he Momo no longer has a chance. Qi Qingrou's delicate face was full of displeasure. Afraid I would see it. She took a deep breath and suppressed her emotions. Good, as long as she did not. Qi Qingrou buried her head in my chest. After a while, she suddenly asked, the Shi family is holding a banquet today. Do you want to go, Chen? The change of subject instantly diverted my attention. Shi Yibai's celebration banquet. I did not really want to go. I did not want to see the Shi family. To me, they were worse than strangers. Qi Qingrou looked up at me. If you want to go, Chen, I will take you. I asked, confused. What for? Qi Qingrou gave a spoiled, haughty smile. To watch them make fools of themselves, of course. I broke into a brazen grin. All right. Come to think of it, the Shi family had probably tried to reach me by now. It was just that I did not have my phone. And the Shi family did not dare make trouble at Qi Qingrou's home. That was why I had peace until now, with no one bothering me. Still, we would have to meet sooner or later. The banquet was at noon, and it was still early. After breakfast, Qi Qingrou went to the study. The trending news was causing an uproar. Her phone was nearly ringing off the hook, but she had turned it off and ignored everyone. When she switched it back on, she returned a call to her parents, who were traveling the world, then replied to several friends. I went back to the bedroom for another nap. When I woke, I had changed into the custom-tailored suit Qi Qingrou had sent over. The stylist waiting nearby fixed my hair. Qi Qingrou sat nearby with her phone, typing away non-stop. I had no idea what she was doing. Once I was ready, I stood and asked, Qingrou, is your husband handsome or what? Qi Qingrou looked up at my voice. She put her phone away, then rose and walked over to me. Smiling, she nodded. Incredibly handsome. Then she changed into a custom evening gown in a matching shade. Once her makeup and styling were complete, I gazed at her intensely. Unable to help myself, I leaned down and gently kissed her cheek. My Qingrou, you are so beautiful. Standing together, Qi Qingrou suddenly had second thoughts. She did not want Momo to see how handsome Chen looked. What should she do? Maybe she should take Chen out and show him off. Everyone would be green with envy. Chen is my husband. The stylist nearby squealed with excitement. They are so sweet together, such a perfect match. Qingrou's eyes curved even more with delight. She looked up at me. Did you hear that, Chen? Everyone thinks we are perfect together. I raised a hand and gently tousled her hair. My voice held a tenderness I had never shown anyone else before. I am only perfect for you. I clasped her hand tightly. At that moment, I suddenly broke free of every restraint that had bound me. I used to endure everything in silence, hiding my talents at every turn, unwilling to draw attention, accustomed to keeping a low profile and avoiding the spotlight. But now, I only wanted to be bold. I wanted to stand beside my girl and let the whole world know how much I loved her. My open devotion made Qingrou's cheeks flush. Then let us go out right now. I want everyone to see that my husband is the best. I nodded and let her lead me out of the living room. The moment we stepped outside, we came face to face with someone hiding around the corner of the hallway. Momo, secretly watching us. She wore an exquisite dress, with carefully applied makeup, yet her eyes were fixed desperately on me, full of resentment and obsession. She had schemed at every turn, secretly driving a wedge between Qingrou and me, spreading rumors, maliciously slandering Qingrou, and even setting traps in secret to turn us against each other. She had tried to force her way into my life and steal everything that belonged to Qingrou. How did she dare show her face before us? When she saw Qingrou and me with our fingers intertwined, looking at each other so tenderly, Momo's face turned deathly pale. The last trace of hope in her eyes shattered. In its place came fierce jealousy and bitter hatred. She stepped forward. Chen, are you really going to be with her? How am I any worse than her? I have done so much for you. Why have you never seen me? Before I could answer, Chen is my husband. There has only ever been me in his heart. Every scheme and obsession of yours was wrong from the very beginning. I reached out and drew Qingrou protectively into my arms. All warmth vanished from my eyes, replaced by bone-deep coldness. Those things you did were not sacrifices. They were evil. I stared at Momo, each word sharp and clear. You spread rumors about Qingrou, plotted to frame her in secret, tried to poison our relationship, and even bribed others to maliciously smear us. I know every single thing you did. I never held you accountable before, because I did not want Qingrou tainted by such filth. That does not mean I tolerated your malice. Momo's face went ashen. She tried to deny it, but staff arriving behind us cut her off. Everyone she had bribed to spread lies for her had voluntarily confessed the whole truth. The evidence was indisputable. All her plots were completely exposed. The carefully crafted image she had built completely collapsed. Her reputation was ruined. Everyone who once clung to her abandoned her. She paid dearly for her selfish obsession and vicious schemes. She was forsaken by everyone, and no one mourned her downfall. I looked down at Qingrou in my arms. It is over. The problem is gone. No one can disturb us anymore. Qingrou looked up at me. Chen, there will not be any more awful things like this, right? Her eyes sparkled like stars. I answered solemnly, yes, for the rest of our lives. There will be only peace and fulfillment. A few days later, our wedding arrived as planned. The venue was awash in blooming flowers. Warm sunlight bathed the grounds, soft and magnificent. Everyone who had ever treated us kindly and sincerely wished us well was there. There were friends who had quietly supported us, always ready to lend a hand. There were kind, gentle elders who had witnessed our journey together. And there were strangers we had once helped, who came with grateful hearts. Every face bore a sincere smile, their eyes full of blessings. Dressed in a crisp formal suit, I stood at the end of the sea of flowers, my gaze burning bright, quietly waiting for my bride. When Qingrou, dressed in a pure white wedding gown, slowly walked toward me, my world was completely filled with tenderness. Everything else faded into the background. She alone was my light. Step by step, she came toward me, her eyes shining with starlight and overflowing love. I stepped forward and took her hand. My voice was gentle yet firm. I once weathered every storm alone. I had seen the world's darkness and known life's cruelty and kindness. I thought the rest of my days would be lonely and uneventful. Until I met you. You taught me tenderness, gave me someone to cherish, and showed me what it means to love someone above all else. What it means to be whole. Today, I take you as my wife. Through every year to come, every dawn and every dusk, I will keep you safe, give you tenderness, cherish you all my life, never leave your side, and never let you down. Qingrou's eyes glistened with tears. For all the long years ahead, I will be with only you, Chen. Year after year, we will stay together, and always lean on one another. Thunderous applause erupted below the stage. Words of blessing rose one after another. Warm and fervent, I slipped a ring onto Qingrou's finger, then held my bride tightly. Warm sunlight brushed our faces. Flowers bloomed in abundance. The whole venue overflowed with blessings. All the beauty in the world seemed to gather round us. The storms had passed. Everything fell into place. From that day on, Qingrou and I would spend our lives together, peaceful year after year. In a life made whole, every face bore a sincere smile, their eyes full of blessings. I stood at the end of the sea of flowers, my gaze burning bright, quietly waiting for my bride. When Qingrou, dressed in a pure white wedding gown, slowly walked toward me, my world was completely filled with tenderness. Everything else faded into the background. She alone was my light. Step by step, she came toward me, her eyes shining with starlight and overflowing love. I stepped forward and took her hand. My voice was gentle yet firm. I once weathered every storm alone. I had seen the world's darkness and known life's cruelty and kindness. I thought the rest of my days would be lonely and uneventful. Until I met you. You taught me tenderness, gave me someone to cherish, and showed me what it means to love someone above all else. What true happiness means. Today, I take you as my wife. Through every year to come, every dawn and every dusk, I will keep you safe, give you tenderness, cherish you all my life, never leave your side, and never let you down. Qingrou's eyes glistened with tears. For all the long years ahead, I will be with only you, Chen. Year after year, we will stay together and always lean on one another. Thunderous applause erupted below the stage. Words of blessing rose one after another. Warm and fervent, I slipped a ring onto Qingrou's finger, then held my bride tightly. Warm sunlight brushed our faces. Flowers bloomed in abundance. The whole venue overflowed with blessings. All the beauty in the world seemed to gather around us. The storms had passed. Everything fell into place. From that day on, Qingrou and I would spend our lives together. Peaceful year after year. In a life made whole.